Thank you everyone for being here with me. My name is Melissa, and this is a tarot reading for both the feminine and the masculine. The feminine is the chaser and the masculine is the runner. The first half of this video will be for the feminine chaser, and I will timestamp the second half for the masculine runner. This is a message for Gemini. Okay. Both Gemini, feminine, masculine. It's Gemini energy we got going on here. All right, so Gemini, feminine. There has been something like a major, abrupt ending. And this ending has caused you a lot of grief, regret, and you're thinking about the past. You're evaluating everything that's happened, and you're preparing to walk down a new path. There's a pause. What happened was someone was rejected. Someone felt abandoned. There was dishonesty in this relationship, and because of this, the Gemini became ungrounded. They were very confused. They didn't know what to do. Everything was, for a long period of time, everything was up in the air. But then eventually what happened was everything came to a head, and then there was like the massive crumbling, and it was very, very devastating. And so now the Gemini is in the process of healing, but there's still, even though the relationship was dysfunctional and there was a lot of deceit, dishonesty, and you knew that the person that you were involved with wasn't truly invested and wasn't as committed as you were, because this was you. It was hard for you to accept this. But now that everything came to a head, you have no choice but to accept it. And there's going to be new experiences coming through. There's going to be a new love offering. Sometime this new person is going to be more solid and secure and emotionally mature. The previous person was immature, emotionally manipulative. They played games. They played, they went back and forth. They were wavering. They weren't as clear and direct as you wanted them to be. And part of this dynamic was there was a lot of criticism, sharpness, resentment, ungroundedness, chaos. But you guys had a soul connection. There was a deep, deep, deep soul connection with this person. But the thing is the reason why you had this connection with this person was so that you could spiritually grow and evolve, so that you can learn how to not be codependent, for you to learn how to water your own garden, for you to not settle for less, to not let yourself become unbalanced. So there was this entire experience, even though it caused you, and I think it's still causing you, like you're still having a hard time accepting that this is the end. And that's because you're still reflecting on everything that happened. You're still still looking at it from your perspective and his perspective or her perspective, and you're going back and forth between the two. But that's part of the healing process. So it's about taming this rigidity. Like, try to not be so rigid and sharp. And if you're experiencing resentment, then tune into your intuition. Connect with your higher power, your inner being. Because once you get into this high priestess energy, it's gonna shift your focus towards your life's purpose. And with the life's purpose, this is ultimately, once you shift your energy, you're going to be able to manifest the relationship of your dreams. But before you can do this, you have to make the final judgment. You have to accept it. But for now, you're still weeding the garden. You're processing everything. You're still healing. It's just about having faith and trusting. Everything happened for a reason. This was part of the divine plan. This was so that you can understand the importance of self-mastery, understand the development of your gifts and abilities, understanding cause and effect, how much you give and how much you receive. Maybe you need to look at your house, reshift, maybe redecorate your house, create a sacred space where you can meditate, do yoga, light candles and incense, listen to soft music without lyrics, maybe do some Pilates, some light stretching. Anything you can do to shift your focus off of this person. Anything you can do to tame the resentments, to not tame them, like just completely get rid of the resentment. Because resentment will delay the healing process, and it will keep you, it'll eat away at you, and you don't need that. You don't deserve that. This is what you want. You want a committed union. You want love, partnership, devotion. And here, this is the happiness. You're going to have your happiness. You're going to have the relationship you've always dreamed of. But you got to get out of your head. You got to break free from the confinement, the restrictions that you put upon yourself. Look towards the future and imagine the ideal outcome. But you don't want to focus on them. Part of the letting go process is letting go of them. A lot of people think that letting go is just, like, they try to manipulate the letting go process. And it's like, no, like, you have to let go of them. Okay, so this is for a Gemini chaser. And honor your relationship too. Gemini. Oh my goodness, it's confusing. This is for the Gemini runner. I'm going to get better at this. Gemini runner, masculine. What are the overall energies surrounding the Gemini masculine runner? Okay. these messages, Spirit. Thank you for this support, for this guidance, for the love. Okay, so the Gemini runner needs to get grounded. So what does that mean? When you're ungrounded, you're not going to be, your thoughts are going to be scrambled. You're going to experience negative emotions. You're going to be in a negative state of mind because you're not going to be content with being in the moment. You're ungrounded. You're just like constantly seeking and attaching and focused and fixated and obsessing over things that you have no control over. Okay. And so here's the swords. So this could be talking about being not tactless. So just being very erratic and, you know, not giving a shit. Basically doing whatever you want and not giving a shit. It's about the runner is operating from their ego. They're struggling with their sexual desire, sexual addiction. There's been lies and deceit in the past, or there currently is. The runner's exhausted and like experiencing a lot of anxiety, worry, guilt, regret, but then the ego takes over and then they refuse to take accountability. They're like, well, you know, like they basically play the blame game. They're not actually taking accountability for their choices. And so basically they want it, but they don't want it. They're confused. Like they have feelings for the feminine, the chaser. They have feelings for the chaser. But the thing is they're immature. They're non-committal. They lack integrity. They're egotistical. And so what's happening is you and this person are mirroring one another. So if you're sitting here and thinking, oh yeah, of course they are. It's totally this, they're that, you know, it depends on where you're at. Maybe you've come to peace. Maybe you've come to terms with what's happened. So this here is talking about being self-assured, independent, knowing your worth. So this is if you're the cross watcher, this is what Spirit is saying. This is what you need to get yourself to this place. But understand the person, the masculine, we all want the same things. We all want the same thing. So this is about the feminine inspiring them by making the decision to walk away from this relationship, to not tolerate the nonsense, the craziness, to be very clear and direct, but from a heartfelt place, from sense security, and from that solid knowing of who you are and what you deserve. Because the chaser knows what they want, but the runner isn't able to give them this. And yes, it's causing them grief. It's causing them it's causing the runner to feel this way. And it's causing them, all of this emotion. And they're being guided to move forward and to become more emotionally secure and confident. But for this to happen, the feminine has to set the stage. They have to lead the way. And that's what happens. The chaser always has a hard time letting go, and then they just continue to settle for less and put up with all the bullshit. And then the masculine just continues to feed off of it, and then they don't learn their lessons. They just continue to think that they can keep being dishonest, that they can be in and out, non-committal, and do whatever they want and be, and really could care less about the feminine. But in all reality, that is just the facade. They pretend like they don't care because because the feminine has so much love to give to them, and they don't feel like they're worthy. They don't feel like they're good enough. But then the feminine continues to try to convince them of this. They create this imaginary, the feminine, come to me, and I'm, they just sort of seduce them, and they're always there and comforting them and making sure that they're secure, and I love you, and I'm here for you, I'm listening, what do you need? And, and then it's like they have this sexual desire and this really strong, passionate connection. And then they hook up, and then the masculine just is like, see ya. And it's, in one respect, they want to be with the feminine. But in the other respect, they are incapable of giving the feminine what it is that they want and what they deserve and what they need. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know how to. They have some lessons to learn, and I already said that. So here, this is the patriarchy. For me, the Hierophant is the patriarchy. It's basically the masculine learning what it means to truly love another person. And that it's not about them. It's not just all about them. It's not about using, just... So it's the matter of I know that you're the cross watcher. So basically you have to decide, am I going to continue within this dynamic? Am I going to continue fighting for this relationship and continue with all of this manipulation and trying to convince them that, I'm the one? Or am I going to leave this behind and move towards clear waters and become more secure and content with myself? Become more balanced. Set a new intention. Start practicing new beliefs. What happens too is this is a habit. So basically the cross watcher, you're used to being the chaser. And you're used to being stimulated and having that runner chaser. You're used to it. So then what happens is it continues on to the point that it's like, okay, I can't do this anymore. But usually what happens is once the feminine takes a step back, and then the masculine has that realization, and then they come back and they give an offering. But you can't hold out for that, right? Because this is what happens. So here I was talking about the offering. So here, this is the slow and steady making an offering. But then right after that, we had the moon. But so this is saying that they keep it within, right? So imagine that the masculine is keeping their feelings within. They're not revealing how they're feeling. And so then, like I said, the feminine makes a decision to walk away from that relationship and focus on becoming more secure and confident within themselves. But then part of it, what happens is sometimes they do it from for the wrong reasons. They're trying to bypass. And if you do that, it's not going to work. It may work, but for short periods of time, and maybe you'll have reconciliation, but it won't stay. And then you'll just continue putting your life on the back burner, and you'll continue waiting, and you can be waiting forever. So once you come to this acknowledgement and you start focusing on becoming this, setting a new intention, moving forward, not looking back, becoming more balanced and grounded. Very important to become grounded, because air energy it's very scattered, and like you guys overthink and then because you're Gemini, you're constantly evaluating, going left and right, up and down. It's the duality. So once you make this decision, you have that final judgment, you move forward, you don't look back, you trust, you're open to a whole new beginning, you take a leap of faith into a whole new beginning, you start becoming more heartfelt, heart-centered, and loving yourself first, and you start addressing your childhood wounds, and you look back and you're like, you send them love them, and let them go and bless them. And then by doing so, then ultimately what's going to happen is the cross watcher, you're going to either manifest them back, or you're going to manifest someone who's equivalent or better than them. A better version of them is what you're wanting to manifest. You're wanting solid, committed relationship. So that is your reading. Let me know if you found this helpful. If you're interested in having a personal reading with me, my scheduling information is in the description. And much love to you all.